Have you ever felt that you are being left behind? When you look around, and your friends have reached the top, but you are still struggling in a dark room with rejection letters. Are you tired of comparisons from neighbors and the worried looks from your family? Whenever they talk about your career, are you really not good enough? Or maybe your wings just need some quiet time to grow stronger before a big storm. Let's follow the journey of a young man who is standing between giving up and finding real strength from one life-changing advice. This video is for those who feel alone in their effort. Do not give up too soon, because the greatest things are always built in silence. Watch now to find yourself and the answer for your unstable days. Among the dry grass hills and the old moss-covered stone walls of Yorkshire, this winter seems longer than usual. In the small attic of a farmer's family, Julian sits in silence, his empty eyes looking out the window where the first snowflakes are falling on the slate roofs. On his desk are not ambitious plans, but a thick stack of rejection letters with cold printed words. "We regret to inform you that we have found a more suitable candidate." Each letter feels like a sharp cut into the pride of a young man who was once the hope of his whole family when he went to the bright city of London. Julian's pain does not only come from his own failure, but also from the voices he hears from downstairs and outside the gate. In this small village, one person's success is always a measure of another person's failure. He cannot forget his mother's worried eyes when she sees him still wearing pajamas at noon, or the hidden meaning in the neighbor Parker's questions. "So when will you go back to the city and become a boss?" "Julian, my son Thomas has just become a chief lawyer. He says it is stressful, but at least he has money to spend." Those words feel like cold winds coming through the door, making Julian want to hide and disappear into the darkness of the room. Julian starts to fear the doorbell and even the bright sunlight outside, because it shows his failure clearly. He locks himself in his room, cuts off all contact, and sinks into negative thoughts that he is out of rhythm in the song of life. He feels like a strange and weak creature among a group that is flying high. Low self-esteem takes over his mind, making him believe that all his past efforts were just useless attempts. In the deep and scary silence of the attic, Julian asks himself, is there any way out for someone who is already tired from the starting line, or will his life always be a closed door in this cold winter? After many long nights of struggle, Julian understands that if he keeps staying in the darkness, he will slowly fall apart before he even begins. One afternoon, when the sun sets early over the white snowy fields, Julian puts on his old coat and walks out of the house. He goes through the snow-covered paths to the edge of the forest, where there is a wooden house of old Silas, a strange old man with white hair respected by everyone for his quiet wisdom. In the warm space with the smell of pine wood and the sound of the fire, Julian sits down and shares all his pain about the rejection letters and the mockery of people. Old Silas does not interrupt. He quietly pours a cup of hot tea, then begins to tell a legend from the far Alps mountains, the story of Orion. Julian, in a place where the wind never stops, there was an eagle named Orion. It was not the strongest and not the fastest. While other eagles were flying together and showing their power and speed in the bright sky, Orion could only watch from far away on a lonely cliff. One time it tried to fly with the group, but it fell behind because of its weak wings and crashed among sharp rocks, while others laughed at it. Silas's eyes shine in the firelight as he continues. But Orion made a different choice. It did not try to return to the group to ask for help. It decided to train alone, without praise or any audience. Every morning before the sun rises in the freezing cold and deep darkness of the mountain, Orion jumps into the sky. It faces thousands of failures, crashes into rocks, feels great pain, and becomes extremely tired. But in that lonely silence, Orion starts to understand the language of the wind. It learns how the wind can lift it and how the air changes in narrow mountain paths. The small eagle understands that it must train in the hardest time, while others only train in good conditions. It is not only about training the wings, but also about building a strong spirit that cannot be broken. Julian listens and feels that every word of Silas touches the deepest pain in his heart. He realizes that the time he is going through is not weakness, but maybe it is his own lonely cliff. While Julian is still lost in his thoughts about Orion's hard training, old Silas suddenly lowers his voice, and the atmosphere in the wooden house becomes tense, as if a real storm is coming. He continues to tell about the day that changed Orion's fate forever. It was a dark gray afternoon when black clouds moved like giant monsters swallowing the mountain peaks. A terrible storm, the strongest in 10 years, hit the Alps. The wind roared with power strong enough to pull out old pine trees, and the snow fell so heavily that no creature dared to open its eyes. In that storm, a young eagle in the group, one who was always proud of its speed, got trapped. Its strong but inexperienced wings became useless against the powerful winds. It lost control, shook in fear, and began to fall freely into the deep valley. At that moment, a small, dark shadow flew straight into the center of the storm without hesitation. It was Orion. Do you know why Orion dared to do that? Silas asked, then answered himself. Because it had lived in its own storm for many years. Thanks to the silent training in darkness and cold, Orion understood every movement of the wind. While other eagles were afraid, because they had never faced real hardship, Orion felt like it was in a familiar place. It moved calmly through narrow spaces and used the storm's power to fly faster. With great precision, Orion reached the struggling eagle, used its strong body to support it, and guided it above the dark clouds to a safe place full of sunlight. After finishing the story, Silas put his thin hand on Julian's shoulder. The storm outside does not choose the strongest person, it chooses the one who is best prepared. Julian, the rejection letters and the mocking words from your neighbors are your storm. If you use this time to train in silence like Orion, then when real challenges come while others fall because they have never faced failure, you will be the only one strong enough to rise. Julian looks out of the window. The snow is still falling, but inside him, a new fire begins to burn. He understands that he is not running away, but preparing for his own moment to shine. After leaving old Silas's house, Julian walks on the snowy road with a completely different mindset. The quiet of the Yorkshire countryside is no longer a sign of being stuck, but becomes the perfect space for him to rebuild himself. When he passes by the local pub, the laughter and judging eyes are still there, but they no longer have the power to hold him back. Julian smiles a calm smile of someone who has found a treasure in the darkness. The next morning, while the whole village is still sleeping and the fog covers the fields, the light in Julian's attic is already on. He no longer rushes to check the mailbox with worry, but starts to build a strong discipline. He spends hours studying, learning by himself, and practicing the professional skills that he once ignored. Julian understands that, like Orion, returning to the cliff after saving others, real growth does not need a big stage or quick praise. As time passes, Julian's confidence is not built by degrees or titles, but by inner strength developed in silence. When the neighbors start to ask in surprise, "How can you stay so calm and strong in this difficult time?" Julian stays silent. He knows that real strength does not need explanation. It will speak through actions. The message from old Silas becomes a part of him. The quiet preparation of today is the unstoppable strength of tomorrow. Julian continues to work before sunrise, ready for a future where he is not chasing the light, but becoming the light of his own life. My dear friend, are you also going through long and tiring days, feeling like you do not belong in this busy life? I understand the feeling when you have to face careless questions from your family, stressful comparisons from neighbors, or the pain when you see your friends achieving success again and again. Sometimes a dark room seems like the only place where you feel safe. But please remember, every flower has its own time to bloom. The days when you are closing yourself are not weakness, but the time when you are building your strength to grow stronger. Do not let outside judgment put out the fire inside you. Be patient a little more, train in silence, because the storm outside is only a test to make your wings stronger. Thank you for listening and staying with the story of Julian and Orion. If you see yourself in this story, please press like and share this video so we can give more strength to those who are trying in silence. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you will not miss the next inspiring journeys. See you at the top of your own life.